Here is a challenge to Reformed TR proponents. Here's a challenge I would like to level to Reformed TR proponents. Present a consistent, repeatable method of textual critical analysis that, upon application to the currently available handwritten Greek manuscripts, would produce the text of the so-called Textus Receptus in just one book, the Book of Revelation. If you claim your methodology is defined by Scripture, please explain with Scripture how your method was derived. Okay? So, there's a challenge. It seems like a pretty straightforward challenge. Because, now the Book of Revelation is the toughest one out there. And it's because we have the fewest number of manuscripts of the Book of Revelation, and it struggled to be accepted as canon Scripture. But we also know, or at least I know, and anybody who wants to know knows, that the Book of Revelation in the Textus Receptus is the most corrupt element of the Textus Receptus. Now, I have full respect for a person who will say, yes, the TR's text of Revelation really needs emendation, and then would offer some type of consistent, relevant argumentation. But I don't see how the modern movement can do that. Because once you accept the idea that textual critical analysis of the TR must be done, now you have to offer a basis for that. And now you have to start explaining what manuscripts you will allow to be used, and how will you recognize where the one manuscript Erasmus used was misread in Revelation 14:1, or miscopied, or didn't have something that Erasmus then inserted from the Latin Vulgate. That is going to drag you inevitably into textual critical methodology, and that's exactly what these guys are saying we don't want, because once you go there, then you can no longer have certainty. As if not going there gives you certainty. It doesn't, but that's the whole point. So there's a challenge: present a consistent, repeatable method of textual critical analysis that, upon application of the currently available handwritten Greek manuscripts, would produce the text, the so-called Textus Receptus in the Book of Revelation. If you claim your methodology is defined by Scripture, please explain with Scripture how your method was derived. And that last sentence is because I'm actually hearing these guys making the argument that you need to have a biblically derived textual critical methodology. Now, having a biblically consistent textual critical methodology is fine, but biblically consistent and biblically derived are two different things. That is, if you literally say that your textual critical methodology you derive from the Bible itself, then explain to us where the Bible gives you instruction on examining Revelation 16:5 or 14:1 or 2:2, or we can give you a bunch of others, where it tells you how to recognize parablepsis or homoteleuton or ditography or any of these other issues that are relevant at that point. When I read through the Bible the first time at 16, maybe I fell asleep when maybe it's in 2 Kings someplace where it specifically lays these things out, and you know, this is where Erasmus got his, and maybe I've just missed it. No one ever preaches on it or something. But quite honestly, the Bible does not give you textual critical methodology, and it scares me when Reformed guys actually pretend that it does. And one other thing that I would add to that challenge: if you are going to make the assertion that by holding the TR, you are holding to the text that had been delivered to the church from the beginning, please realize that all anyone has to do, doesn't even have to be another Christian. It can be a Muslim or a Mormon or an atheist. All they've got to do is pop open UBS 5, go to the notes, because UBS 5 has many, many, many more patristic citations than Nessie Allen does, and show you the number of places. Just take the TR reading, and on almost every page, you will find early church fathers, early church writers who have readings other than the TR or other than the Byzantine text. Did they not have the scriptures? Had it not been delivered to them? The Council of Nicaea in 325. Vitally important time period. The defense of Nicaea for the next number of decades during the Arian ascendancy. What is the predominant textual reading of the church fathers during that time period? It's not the TR. So did they not have the text? See, that kind of claim sounds so warm and wonderful. It's just a myth. And the Christian faith is not based upon myths and cannot be defended through mythology. I think that's an important thing to note.